Hello, everybody, whoever pops in. I didn't see that anybody was online right now. Well, hello. I just kind of randomly decided to schedule a live. I'm going to be sitting here cross-stitching and videotaping on time lapse. So I thought I would just kind of open up the chat room and see who wanted to come in and just kind of hang out for a little bit. I've got let's see, about an hour and a half before I have to start getting ready to go to hubby's work, trade vehicles, and then drive to the other place to get ready for the rodeo and the fair. So wanted to hang out for a little bit. Sis, did you want to come up on panel with me, or do you want to just hang out in the chat? Got a few people watching, looks like. Feel free to come into the chat, introduce yourself, kind of let me know who you are. Sam, I got to send you the link for today. Hold on, let me see if I can figure that part out because I didn't think of that ahead of time. Because I don't believe it's the same link from yesterday. I think it creates a new link for each live. Never had to do this before, so I'm not exactly sure where to find the link. So I'm just going to click around in here, see if I can figure it out, and maybe somebody that's hanging out in the bushes can pop in and tell me where to find the link if they're comfortable doing that. So it's not in settings. Oh, duh. How about up in the search bar? Duh. That was a big old duh. Ooh-wee. I cannot wait to get my boom arm. Good afternoon, Paul. How are you? It's funny, I have my StreamYard set up to send me make a noise when somebody enters the chat, but my computer really dislikes Chrome, unfortunately. And so I got the notification probably a minute after you entered the room, Paul. Apparently it's a little slow, but I know it doesn't like Chrome. It takes me like 20 minutes to get Chrome opened up and running every day, whenever I try to do a live. So I have to make sure I prepare way ahead of time or I'll never make a live on time.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. That's funny. Last time it didn't let me open it on my phone. This time it let me open it on my phone when we're not doing video.
Oh. Well, it's a learning curve. I've discovered that. So each time you do it, you learn something new.
Yeah.
I was reading a pet peeve, so to speak, thread on Reddit, and one of the things they said was about panelists not having the same volume. And I was like, hey, wait a minute, you can do that? How do you do that? So if you've got like 5 people on panel, one's not really, really quiet and one's not really, really loud. Apparently that's a setting. And I was like, oh, okay, start clicking around. I'm going to find that.
That's kind of neat, though. Kind of
I
keep
know.
it.
I was like, oh, so it has a built-in volume control. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, it's like every time I come on, I'm like, wait, it does that? Let me try that. Let me do that.
At least for the next, like, maybe minute or so, I'm going to be kind of mute-unmute because I'm finishing up my lunch, but
That's fine. Yeah,
nobody wants to meet you.
Yeah, I finished before I came on. Paul, I let Sophie know that I was going to have to catch her live on replay because I will be in transit to the rodeo when she goes live. And I definitely will not have Wi-Fi access. And I'm not sure what time Brooke is going on tonight. Do you? Oh, have I been recording this whole time? I have. Whoops. So my the first 8 seconds of my clip for my cross stitch is going to be me just sitting here staring at things. But that's okay. It's on time lapse, and it goes fast. And I have the phone above me, so they didn't get to see me looking all goofed out. I'm not sure if Paul just popped in and popped out.
So I've been rewatching Shameless. I'm trying to get David to watch with me.
I know you said something the other night about having to take your headphones off.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that's definitely not a show appropriate for a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Oh, heck no. And the only time I watch it is like when I know they're preoccupied, so.
Right. Is it Owl House and Minecraft again today?
Oops, double clicked. Just Owl House today. I guess Emma has a headache. I told her she needs to start drinking water.
Absolutely.
But it's been a pretty lazy day. I told her if she doesn't finish her water intake by the time we're going to the fair, then she gets to stay home with her dad.
Oh, so Dad's not going to come with us tonight?
I don't know. I don't think so.
He's such a party pooper.
Sometimes.
But, at the same time, I get it. He's got issues with, public
social anxiety
and, loud noises and.
Well, and he's got some home run stuff that he's got to do, and then he's doing the grocery shopping while we're gone, so.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we're having some homeowner issues. We've never had to do that before, so it's interesting.
What's going on?
Oh, we've got well, we're hoping it's not an infestation. We found termites a while ago.
Yeah.
So he has to finish spraying the stuff around the house. He got the inside of the house, but he's still got to put it on the outside of the house.
Yeah. Welcome to home ownership.
I know. I can't just call my landlord and cry.
It's a never-ending, as soon as you get one problem fixed, another one pops up.
Yeah. I think that so far, though, it's worth it. We haven't had anything too tremendous, which is good.
Well,
but
yeah,
we've only been here for a year, so give it time.
I had to get up and close my craft room door so that Sharky doesn't come in here.
I did the same thing, but not for the shark, just because I felt like it.
Yeah, if my shark comes into the craft room, it's going to have issues. It's not going to thrive very well in here.
I might still have metal strips I can give you, or metal magnetic strips. They're already cut to the size of the doorway. I could probably just send one home with you.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it said mine came with them. Hi, Stephanie. I'm stitching too. Stephanie is a fellow cross stitcher.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Got to do cross stitching panels sometime.
And I'm working on trying to figure out like an actual schedule for myself, like a regular day and time or days and time. And I was thinking Thursdays sometimes, and I can do a thready Thursday, and that's when I can, and that's when I can cross stitch live. Of course, I can't do that until after my equipment gets here, but
yeah,
because it's a really big pain in the butt trying to do it with my phone on a live, because like I said, the only place that can hold my phone right now is the paper tray on my printer.
Mm-hmm.
So I only have one place, and then I can't get the work close to me and still get it on camera.
Yeah.
So it was like without really killing my back. So I'm like, yeah, this isn't gonna work.
I remember back when I was pretty big into the drawing community. We had Whip Wednesday or Whip weekends.
Uh-huh.
That was fun. Like I could never keep up. Like, no, I'm kind of a work on my own time type of person. I have a hard time with schedules.
I know, Stephanie. I think you subscribed after I did my first one. I have a membership to Artisy. What is it? Artisy shop or Artisy cross stitch shop. But I became a member back when it was like, it was $19.99 for a lifetime membership, and you can download as many patterns as you wanted. And there's literally thousands of patterns on this website. About a year and a half after I became a member, somebody was taking her PDF patterns and selling them. So she removed the membership, and now it's you have to pay for patterns. But because I'm a lifetime member, any pattern that comes out now, I can get at a discounted price. I think it's like 40% off or something like that. But like I said, it's going to have to be a really good pattern for me to pay for one now, because I probably have 400, 500 already downloaded. But I have these kits that I purchased. And so my goal is to get through all these kits before I jump back into Artisy's patterns. So that way I can get the kits out of the way and get this, what's supposed to be DMC colors, but they never match. So because they come in a kit, and so they're wonky colors. So I want to get rid of all the kits, and then I can put any spare threads I have over in my junk journaling supplies, and then get back into using the true DMC colors and the really, really awesome patterns through Artisy. If you've never looked at her website, I highly recommend it. The artwork that she has on there is phenomenal. And she gets, some of it's her original artwork, I believe, but not all of it. She does get permissions from artists to turn their pictures into cross stitch. And they're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And she's great customer service. Like if you wanted to crop like say you downloaded an image and the total picture is a 2 foot by 4 foot, but you only want like a portion of that picture, you let her know and she'll actually crop it for you on her program and send you the new PDF, which is really cool. And if you want to do it like in a different color palette, let her know and she'll rework it in a new color palette and send it back to you as long as you paid for the pattern.
See, and it it bothers me because that's above and beyond. That's way more work than she needs to do. And so when people, and it's not just her, obviously, it's artists everywhere just get ripped off. And it's like,
Absolutely.
that sounds amazingly and overwhelmingly nice. I kind of just want to find the person that was ripping her off and be like, just flick them on the nose.
Well, and there've been a couple times that I've been in some of my other cross stitch groups on Facebook, and I'm like, hey.
Wait a minute.
And so I message her, and I'm like, I know I've seen this on your website. Is this one of your, one of your license? Because they have like a sister shop in a way that has like non-copyrighted patterns that I'm not on. But yeah, if I see something I know I've seen on her shop website in another cross stitch group, and somebody's trying to sell the patterns, I always let her know. And then if it's one that's not supposed to be sold, she takes it from there. Because yeah, I mean, you're an artist, and so I mean, we've seen it with Napster, and all just the copyright ripoff that happens in all of the artistic industries. I'm like, I'm not going to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's somebody's hard work. That's somebody's time. That's somebody's soul. That's their livelihood.
Right. So Stephanie, it looks like you are familiar with Artisy.
Oh, you're going to hear all of my little computer clicks.
It's okay. Yeah, that big metal swirly retro flower thing that I stitched is one of her patterns.
Have you shown that yet on a video?
I have not, because
you should.
I know, and I keep meaning to, but I'm lazy about. I've got to tie in all the ends on the back.
So just don't show the back.
You have to. They look at the back, especially in open class. I've just been, I've had it done for 3 years now, and I just gotta.
And I have a vague memory of coming over there once and I started weaving in the ends, and then obviously I can't spend a whole lot of time doing it, but I have a vague memory of coming over and starting to weave your ends in for you.
Yeah, I just gotta buck up and do it, and then I can enter it in fair next year.
Knitting. I tried so hard to pick up knitting, and I know how to do it. I can't do anything fancy. I just know like knit and purl stitch, but
I can't knit for nothing. My hat is off to you, Chantel, because knitting is way, 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 way more coordination than I possess. A crochet hook and yarn, that's a one hand, I can do that. Knitting is like 2 needles, the thread, nope, can't do it. I need a 12-step program. Yeah, and that was kind of how I was too, because like I said, when I first joined it, it was $19.95 lifetime membership, download as much as you want. And so I just started going through, and I'm like, I like that one, download. And I have an entire file on my printer, on my computer. And like I said, there's probably at least 300 patterns. I'm like, that is, my great grandchildren will be cross stitching my patterns. A white scarf. Ooh, me and white, no bueno.
At least now I can blame my kids, but I know that it's been a lifelong struggle because I'm just clumsy.
Sorry. So I would say probably respectively 80% of your quirks and stuff. I just have to say sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Black yarn's my favorite to work with, and I know that's like, it's backwards because most of the people that I talk to are like, oh, I can't stand black is my favorite, and I think it's because I operate more on feel than visual. I don't have any issues, but it's my favorite. It's harder to see mistakes is my thing, because doesn't matter how long I've been doing it, I still mess up. And so when it's black yarn, you don't really see it.
I started this cross stitch project yesterday and I've already made 2 mistakes. And I'm like, and I can't find the mistake. I just know when I started to do back stitching, I'm like, okay, that doesn't line up. What did I do? And I can't find it. So I'm like, okay, I'll just deal with it. You know, when I do back stitching, I'll change the back stitching a little and I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Hi, Toots. How are you?
And all in chat.
Oh, Shark is giving me an error again. I don't know what his issue is today.
If it makes you feel any better, mine hasn't ran in like, I don't know, almost a week. I just keep forgetting to turn it back on.
Ugh, you're going to have a lot of hair to deal with.
Yep. Well, I vacuumed. I manually vacuumed the rug in my bedroom yesterday, and Fat Panda, Mara Kitty, she comes in and rolls all over it, and David's like, what is she doing? It's reclaiming her surface. I cleaned it. Her and Charlie, it's a fight because they're both black animals to see or to determine whose hair it is. Is it Mara or is it Charlie?
Right. Yeah. I think in my very first video, Stephanie, that I did about with my cross stitch, I'm like, you know, you just roll with it. You know, when I was talking about the difference between kit threads and what you buy in stores, you know, when you get that different dye lot, so they, you know, they look kind of funky. But if you're doing stuff like trees, it doesn't matter if you have 2 shades of, I don't know what color. I'm trying to think of one that's a green.
Like
anyway,
jaded
whatever X number. I will say 318, even though I know 318 is a steel gray. But if you've got 2 different shades of that you're doing trees, who cares if they don't match? Because leaves aren't the same color anyway. So just roll with it. But if you're doing a bit like a sky and suddenly you're halfway through the sky and your color changes, you're going to notice it. So, you know, when you make mistakes, you know, as long as they're adaptable, don't bother frogging. You can figure out how to fix, you know, work around it.
That's my philosophy on life.
I agree. Yeah, and I used to save all my kit colors for that purpose, so that when I was doing projects that had lots of confetti, you know, so any variation in the color would just kind of blend in and it wouldn't matter. But once I started doing the junk journaling, I'm like, hey, these are perfect for binding signatures. So now they go into my journal supplies. So, Toots, are you a crafter? There's another person in our community that she's a truck driver. And so she took us on a ride the other day. She had her dash cam going. And so Stephanie and I were both cross stitching and she had music playing as she's swerving her way through the mountains in her semi. It was funny. Crafting. Do you do any crafting?
Yeah.
Keep losing count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I am discovering that I cannot cross stitch and talk at the same time very well.
It's gonna make for a fun time lapse. Can't wait to watch it.
At some point, I have to run out and grab the rest of my bread out of the oven. Went to make myself a sandwich for lunch and discovered I had like 10 bags of bread butts. And I was like, so I rolled them all, you know, threw them all in one bag and was going to take them out to the chickens. And I'm like, oh, what the hell am I doing? Make breadcrumbs.
Yeah. That's okay. I have that inevitable adult issue going on right now that I have bananas in my freezer because I know for a fact I'm going to make banana bread. So you were talking about bread, and I was like, oh, he wanted me to make some of that this week. And
do you have bananas in your freezer because you bought them and didn't eat them fast enough?
What? No.
Yeah. That's how mine always end up in the freezer. And I don't know why I do it because neither your dad nor I like banana bread, but I always seem to save them.
And it never happens. I'm going to be honest. At least in my house, banana bread never happens. False promises.
Yeah, you came in, Toots. We were talking about knitting a little bit earlier because somebody else is knitting right now. And knitting is not my thing. I tried it. Not my thing. I'm too uncoordinated.
I know how. I struggle. Like, if you asked me to knit a scarf, I probably could, but sweaters, you're going to get a scarf.
But you have all the knitting looms now, so you should be able to make scarves and stuff, no problem.
Exactly. I mean, I have the looms and
all my yarn.
Yeah, and I probably have a good 20 sets of needles of all different sizes. Most of them have never even left the shelf.
Good old secondhand stores.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi, Barbie. I didn't even see you come in. How are you? Yes, people keep telling me that I should try arm knitting now that I can't crochet anymore, but I
have what's it called? You know, when it's not spun. What is that called? What do they call that?
When what's not spun?
Unspun yarn, the big, thick, chunky stuff. When it's not turned quite into yarn yet. I forget what it's called. But I have some of that, and it's, I got it for arm knitting, and then I just never got around to it.
Gotcha. So Toots, Stephanie and I are cross-stitching. Chantel is knitting. And I'm not sure what Sissy Butt's over there doing besides clicking away.
Yep, that pretty much sums it up.
Just going clicky, clicky, clicky.
I'm playing video games. What else is new?
Yeah, Toots, I was just kind of killing time, and since I was sitting in here and my computer is in here anyway, I figured I would just jump on a live and open up a room. People can come in and BS. I know, Barbie, I'm so jealous. Barbie has she does honey or does beehives.
Oh, I've always wanted to, but I don't have that option because David's allergic. So
yeah, that would be bad. So she's busy extracting honey and rendering wax. It's very sticky. Well, MTT got very sticky this morning too, apparently. I don't know if anybody caught her live. It was a really cool craft, sis. I think you would like it. She was making like candelabras for her Halloween decorations, but it was out of pool noodles.
I think I've seen, I mean, it's probably not the same thing, but I've definitely seen something like what you're...
Yes, she cut the pool noodles to different heights, trimmed out one end to be able to put a tea light in it.
Okay, yep. I have seen something like it then, yeah.
Use the hot glue to do like wax drippings down the side.
Yep.
And then she's going to spray it all black. She glued them into a tray, and she's going to spray everything black, but I guess it was windy where she was at this morning. So she's going to spray paint it and then come back and show us the rest of what it looks like painted, and then decorate it with us.
That's so cool.
Yeah, Toots, if you didn't see MTT's video this morning, you should check it out. It was pretty cool. I have no pool noodles. I'd have pipe insulation that I use to hold my boots up, but they're already serving a purpose.
So I heard boobs, which made it funnier.
Not boobs. That would be funny, though.
was like, wait, why are you using what? That's funny.
Well, they do have those towels, that just wrap around your neck and go under each boob.
Yeah, back when I was small enough, skinny enough, whatever you want to call it, when when I was still pregnant with Minnie, I used to I'd take her boppy and I'd tuck it up under there. The little boppy pillow.
Yeah.
Okay, one, they sweat and it's gross and I don't like the feeling, and two, they're sore all the time.
Here you go, sis. Hi, Sarah.
What an interesting point of the conversation to jump into.
I know. Well, I think she's been watching. Her next comment was that she came out of the bushes. She
Yep.
boobs.
And then we started talking about boobs, so it works.
Boots.
Mm-hmm. Sure. We all know what you're using them for.
Yes, Barbie. Just yell boobs, and Sarah will come running. So, Sarah, have you been with us since the beginning? Kind of we're just hanging out and chatting. It depends on the day. That's funny. You don't cross stitch. That's okay. Do you do any other kind of crafts or hobbies? It's so funny. I catch myself yelling at the screen.
It's like my conversation with Emma yesterday. Why are you
yelling? See, but I don't have anybody here to tell me I'm yelling. I have to self-monitor.
Nah.
Well, it's a good thing StreamYard corrects my volume. Did everybody's chats go white on them? I'm not seeing comments.
Mine's not white. Mine seems a little bit delayed. I can still see it, but there's comments that I can't see, and the only reason I know they're there is because you talk about them or they're pinned on my phone screen, but on my laptop I can't see them. Or some of them. I can see the chat.
So interesting that it's doing it on StreamYard. I wonder if it's StreamYard that's causing the problem and not YouTube. Because when I'm watching other streams on YouTube, every once in a while the whole chat will go white, and then I have to go back up to like top chat and then put it back on live chat and everything will appear. Well, that just happened on my StreamYard screen.
Well, I feel special because I didn't even know I could open the chat on StreamYard. I'm over here watching it on YouTube.
Oh. Well, since you're on panel, I think. Again.
Yeah, I can see him now.
Yeah. So that was weird. Yeah, I had Sarah, Barbie, Toots, Sarah. It was just, I could see your name, so I knew you made a comment, but there was nothing there. It was weird. Okay, so apparently Sarah only responds to boobs on days that end in Y. Love it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So Sarah paints. What is your medium? Oh, and you too, Toots. What is your medium? Like acrylic, oil,
watercolor.
Watercolor. Yes. Yeah, I have really got to figure out what to do with these alcohol inks because I have a lot of them.
It's so funny because I wish you would have said that in the live yesterday, because we were talking about ADHD intrusive thoughts, and then it wouldn't have been so weird for me to just blurt out, drink them.
That's true. No, no, Barbie, that wasn't me. I do have diamond paintings that I could do on streams. God, I haven't touched my diamond paintings in probably 2 years, maybe. When did I start junk journaling, sis? Do you remember?
Oh, goodness gracious. I'm not going to pretend I remember.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't think I've touched my diamond painting since I started journaling.
I saw watercolor, though. Watercolor's my medium. It's my favorite.
I know you like to work with watercolor.
Acrylic's also good, but I lack control with acrylics. Watercolor is so forgiving. If I mess up, I can just go, oops, and nobody will know except for me.
Well, Toot's a good way to know. If they're acrylic, it washes off with water. If it's oil, you need like a solvent of some sort.
And if it dries almost as soon as you put it down too, it's acrylic, because oil takes forever. I can't stand oil. I'm sorry to the oil users, but not my thing.
I'm too impatient for oil paints.
Oh, I think I said more cuss words during my oil painting session with David than I have in my entire life.
I'd be in here with my embossing dryer. Hurry up! I want to do the next color, damn it. But yeah, as far as the diamond painting, it's probably been, it's been more than a year, possibly 2, since I've done my diamond painting. But I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 kits I haven't even started, and one I have half of one panel on a 5-panel one done. And if I can figure out the setup, once I get my boom arm, if I can figure out the setup to use with my easel and my light, I can also do some diamond painting on stream. And that's an absolute, if nobody knows about diamond painting, if you have anxiety, oh my God, my clients, I used to buy tiny little kits and give them to my clients to help them with their anxiety, because it's, once you kind of get in the rhythm of it,
it's so soothing.
Yeah, and the ADD in me, I'm like, don't, literally, I'm making the sound, that rhythmic sound as I'm doing it, and so it totally engages my brain.
Well, it's like everybody always encouraged me to do like the one that puts down multiple diamonds at once, and
I hated that thing.
Yeah, they're always so messy. You have to line them up before you line them up, and then
you have to line them up after anyway.
Yeah, and then you just don't get that satisfaction of, one, the click, when 2 square drills go down together, the click. But it's just, no, it doesn't have the same feel.
I agree. I even tried like the 3, the one that does 3 at a time, and I was like, this is nah. I'm spending so much more time doing it, because
you have to line them back up.
You have to get 3 in a row. You have to get 3 facing up, then you have to get 3 facing up in a row, and then get them on the thing, and inevitably one of them doesn't line up anyway, so you end up having to manually place it. I'm like, I'm wasting so much time. I could have placed 30 by now.
Yeah.
Your dollar store started carrying them? That's pretty cool.
Diamond paintings? Yeah, ours does sometimes, as well as Cricut vinyl, but the Cricut vinyl's not. But
not
they
do. Yeah. I've seen the vinyl at our dollar store, but I have not seen the diamond paintings there.
Yeah, ours is they don't have it very often, but I've seen them there a couple times.
That's pretty cool. So yes, Toots, I would say yes, that it was acrylic. Although my kitchen floor still has acrylic paint on it from the girls' bubble painting. But the tile on my kitchen floor is textured, And so like the surface, I was able to get the paint off, but all the little dips in the tile still have dried acrylic paint in them, and I can't get it out. I'm gonna have to get down there with like a toothpick or something.
Oh man, wait. Just you wait until you see Emma's art desk.
Yeah, I was in a stream in Muz's stream earlier, and somebody was talking about alcohol paints, and I'm like, or alcohol inks, and I go, well, I have some, and I said I bought the 91% alcohol, but I think all of my mediums are incorrect. I don't have the right mediums for it, because instead of it spreading, it just soaks in. I go, unless my hands and my table count as a medium, I get alcohol ink all over that.
Definitely counts.
Oh, a magic eraser, would that, you think that would get down into the dips? I didn't even think about that.
I swear by those. I cannot get the hubby to appreciate them. I love them. I never thought about that. That's a good
Yeah, I'm like, I have no desire to be, I mean, my knees would hate me anyway, and so would my back, to get down on my knees and scrub my floor with like a toothbrush or something. And you would think as much times as I walk into the kitchen and the dogs are licking the floor because of something that got dropped or whatever, that there would be no more acrylic paint on my kitchen floor. But
one would think.
Chasing after dog food. Oh yeah, so Sarah, your mediums would be, are you acrylic, oil, watercolor? What do you paint with? What do you paint on? Are you a canvas? Do you paint on plates, paper? What do you work with when you paint?
Oh, I should have done porcelain painting. That would have been fun.
I want to invest in a kiln and get back into ceramics.
I will, if I can figure out how to do it, I will go halvesies with you, because
I see them every once in a while, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't have a couple $1,000. Body paint. Yeah, body paint would be a medium.
Oh, and it's so, body paint is fun to, do you remember when we'd watch, like, what's it called, Face Off, and I think that's what not Face Off, not the movie. What's the special effects makeup show we used to watch?
It's Face Off.
Oh, okay. I always loved watching people do that.
I know. I don't know what happened. I mean, every once in a while, the Sci-Fi Channel will do like a marathon, and I'm like, woohoo, another season's coming out then. And then nothing. I'm like, why are you doing a marathon of last season if there's not a new season coming out? What the heck?
Yeah.
But they haven't had a new season in like 3 years, maybe?
Get you excited.
I know. Oh, 3D printing. We'd still have to figure ours out. Paper freestyle. I don't paint. I struggle. I don't really color either. I struggle with like color theory. So it causes a lot of stress and anxiety for me trying to figure out what colors to put where. And I can't do it from like real objects, since I can't visualize things in my head. So yeah, if it does it, that's why I cross stitch and I diamond paint, because it gives me the directions. It tells me what colors go where, and at the end I have a pretty project done.
And I think that's the perfect excuse, because I keep trying to convince the husband to let me decorate the house. Is to just, for one, stop asking, and for two, just make everything and just start hanging them up while he's at work.
Well, that's kind of so. Had a post come up on one of my local groups today. Some mean person found 13 kittens in their yard, put them in a bucket, and tried to drown them. Well, the poster's husband rescued the kittens, and now she's like, there's no mom. And we don't know. She goes, all I have is cow's milk. And that's what we've been feeding them just to kind of get something in their belly. But we don't know how to take care of neonatal kittens. And so she put it out on one of the pet help groups. And a pet rescue is taking them in. Or she works for a pet rescue. But she's going to foster them at her house. And so I messaged her, and I did a thing on, on the main thing. I said, hey, do you have a PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, or anything like that? And she messaged me back. So I sent her some money this morning to help get some supplies for these new babies. And I'm like, well, and I might be interested in a little girl when they're ready if I can convince my husband. And I think it might, well, it's not even really so much convincing your dad. It's more concerns about Arrow and Lola.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm home all the time now, so I can do a slow introduction to the other animals in the house.
Yeah.
It's not like I'd be leaving this poor defenseless baby at home for 10 hours a day to defend itself against Lola.
Yeah.
I'm home, and we could do the whole carrier thing, and but yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. I think that getting a kitten is going to be the most likely for Lola to accept. Lola's my cat, but the fear then is Arrow with a kitten.
Yeah.
So it's like, but him and Cynthia were good buddies. So I've got a glimmer of hope and thought that maybe with a kitten he would bond versus having an adult cat like Lola, who's like, get the hell away from me, dog.
So it might sound silly. I don't know. Maybe it is. But I'd be interested to know if one of my girls introduced said kitten to Arrow. Because Arrow runs his own show until my kids are around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe after you get it or before you get it or whatever, maybe we have to stop by and have Mina give him the rundown.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And they're so damn cute. But I was like, I wanted to just jump through my screen and like throttle somebody. And people are like, that needs to be reported. And then somebody comes on and goes, did anybody miss the fact that it was an 86-year-old lady? You're going to report her to the police?
Yes.
Yes. She tried to kill 13 kittens in a very cruel way, no less.
Yeah. No.
Yes. I don't care how old she is.
Age does not excuse you from behavior like that.
I was just like, oh my God. I like I said, I wanted to just like jump through my screen and find out where this lady lives so I can go beat the hell out of her neighbor.
The only thing being older, like 86 doesn't have anything to do with it except you've had more time to learn what's acceptable and what's not.
And it's not like this community doesn't have shelters. And I mean, we've got the big shelter, and then we've got like 6 or 7, private rescues. There's no excuse.
Well, and even
for not making a phone call and being like, hey, these were abandoned in my yard. I don't want them. Come and get them.
And even if for some reason, say, TC was full, Walla's got options.
Right.
And it's like, send them over. I know for a fact that David and David would take him in.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, I was glad that by the time I finished reading the thread, I saw that somebody stepped in and said, hey, we don't have room at our rescue, but I will foster them at home.
Yeah.
So she was going on her way over to pick them up when I sent her the money this morning.
Good.
Yeah, your Taz, I love it. I love the name. And Toots feeds the strays. Well, we don't have strays out where I'm at. If you saw my walk around video of my property, I'm out in the country, so we get coyotes and cougars and all kinds of stuff. So If you put your cat outside to fend for itself, it will fend for itself for less than 24 hours. Most likely. All of my animals are shelter animals. And Cynthia, who I mentioned a little bit ago, she came from a hoarding situation. When she was found, she was living in an abandoned school bus, and there were 132 cats in that bus. She was very unsocial because, the person that quote unquote owned them would come feed and water every day, and that's it. So they really had no social skills. God, it probably took 2 years for us to even pet her.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of little Miss M, who held her first, and then Minnie. Minnie was the next one. She comes walking through and she's holding Cynthia, and I'm like, what the She doesn't let us pet her. How is a 2-year-old carrying her around? I'm confused.
Which is funny because, there's a whole thing. All of my animals are rescues too. And it's just funny because all of them cling to Mina, like automatic.
Yeah.
And it's like, animals are not only are they super good judges of character, but they also have a tendency to like pick up on, I don't want to call them abnormalities. That's the wrong word, but they can sense intentions and good or bad intentions, or love, or they have that nurture instinct when they think that something is weird about that human or whatever. And it's like, I'm glad to know that I have a loving and nurturing toddler, because sometimes I question it.
Well, if you think about it, your youngest brother, animals have always been drawn to him too. Like kids have been drawn to your oldest brother.
Yeah. Kids are still scared of me, and it makes me laugh.
I just think that, some people just have that something special about them. Chantel's kitty Bella came from a crack house. Had fleas, but is now 5. 11 weeks old. That's a tiny little baby. Yeah, these babies that were found, she said their eyes are open, but they're barely meowing yet. It's been a long time since I've had little kittens, but I'm guessing they're probably maybe 2 weeks at most, maybe 3.
And I think the worst background story of my animals is probably Arrow, which of course isn't mine anymore, but he still has a kind of a sad background. And then Charlie came from a not so good background, but Arrow, her dog used to be my dog, and he was a survivor from Hurricane Harvey down in Texas, and he was stranded in a hurricane for a long time. They tracked down the owners, and they're like, "Oh no, we don't want him." And he spent 3 out of 4 years in an animal shelter, and we're like, "We can't leave him in there."
When you guys were looking at having to surrender him, I'm like, no, he's already attached to this family. He's already attached to those kids.
We're so lucky you guys took him. And then Charlie, I want to say was like borderline puppy mill. They had so many dogs. She was fighting for food. She's got scars all over her body from getting attacked by other dogs. And it's like, we knew as soon as we were told that story, she was ours.
Yeah. Sarah, were you asking about me and Minnie? If we're sisters-in-law?
It's either a compliment or an insult.
Yeah, Bella probably is a gangsta.
Yes. We are mother and daughter. Whew. Probably could pass for sisters, though. I mean, we're enough alike. Other than the age gap, obviously. If you can't see us, we could pass for sisters, I bet.
Yeah, you're my mini-me. But no, Sarah, that's my daughter.
We're, what, now on generation 3 of mini? Well,
Yeah. No,
you're not
they're
a mini.
cute.
You're not a mini of your mom. I'm a mini of my mom, and she's a mini of me. So we're on second generation.
Yeah. And your mini's a third generation troublemaker.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. She's something else, that's for sure.
Yeah, when I was contemplating opening up this channel, I asked her if she would be interested in doing some co-paneling with me. Especially on the days where I'm doing, the streams about our medical stuff and our mental health stuff. So that way, it's not just me telling everything, and there's stuff that, she's got going on that I know a little bit about, but I don't know how to explain it, but things that, it would be helpful for other people to hear somebody else's experience with it. So
Yeah, that first party information.
yeah. And I'm always open. I'm going to, I only have the free version of Canva, so I can only have one other person up on panel with me right now. But I'm always willing to have somebody else up on panel if they've got, something that they want to talk about on those days. I've got a lot of issues, and she's got a lot of issues, and some of them are the same and some of them are not the same issues. And, but I know there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of different conditions. So I'm always open to somebody. They want to come up on panel and talk about their stuff.
And different experiences, even with the same conditions.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why there's the disclaimer on my banner now, because we were talking about ADHD yesterday, and Muzz had pointed out that, she had made a comment about, make sure, go see your doctor and follow, and I was like, oh, good point. I should probably put a disclaimer on there.
I don't know. I feel like I'm a fun person to talk to about mental health, considering I watch Shameless to make me feel a little bit more normal.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I can relate to that.
Sarah doesn't like Shameless.
Not a lot of people do, and that's okay. Yeah. It's not for everybody. It's an acquired taste, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of life, is that everybody can have different opinions and different experiences, and the adult thing is to find a way to meet in the middle, and
Yeah. Well, I think I reconnected with it in the first place because I'm at the episode Fiona's birthday party where Liam has to go to the hospital.
Oh.
And Fiona's having that oh crap moment, like my life's falling apart, and it's like I'm kind of not in the same situation, but that's where I'm at too, because
that was a hard episode for me to watch.
Because it took my life falling apart in order for me to go, oh, okay. I mean, obviously the situation's not the same, but
right.
Oh, she was talking about something else. Where is it?
Oh, not a fan of Muzz. That's okay. My statement remains the same. I mean, that's the beauty. We can all have different opinions, and meet in the middle and be adults.
Well, I think it's perfectly acceptable because there's a very fine difference between I don't like that and well, I'm not really a fan, and
Right. And
you can not like something and still be respectful.
Absolutely. And that was where I was going. That is my expectation for this channel, is that if you're here and somebody pops in and it's somebody you have a problem with, check that at the door, be respectful while you're in here, and just have a conversation. Outside of
I don't discuss politics for exactly that reason there.
all of that drama. I mean, because everybody, with the exception of you and your brother, yes, click the bell. If you're not getting the notifications, click the dang bell. So Turbo Ranger is my oldest son. But yeah, everybody that's in the chat currently, besides you and your brother, are all from quote unquote this side of the community.
This side of the community.
and it sucks because and I think it's not to get political, but it's very much like the divide between Republicans and Democrats. That's kind of how I feel about all this drama that's in the community right now, is like it's the Democrats fighting the Republicans. And and I'm like, stop. Just stop. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start a channel where we're not talking about all of that. Leave that over there.
Yeah.
Come here, laugh, giggle, have fun, and hopefully people have enough self-awareness that they know if they can't be respectful while they're on my channel, that they just don't come.
See, that's what Sarah said too. I'll ignore them or leave. But yeah, I think mental health and probably adulting in general is a lot like what you were saying with politics. Because me as a full-grown adult, I should be able, the whole point of adulthood and learning and growing is to be able to form your own opinions. Why do you feel the need to chastise somebody else for their opinions? Oh, you support Trump, cool. Oh, you support Biden, cool. Like, that's not, I don't have to agree with you. That's your choice. And I feel like as adults, they should know that. But for some reason, it's like this big thing. Like, oh, you have to, and it's like,
but it's always been that way.
Yeah. And it's like, if everybody, and not just politics, I'm just using politics because they're the main.
If we had never started being a two-party country, we wouldn't have the divide that we do.
Well, and still be a two-party country, that's fine, but grow up. Like, there's no need. You're full-grown adults. Why do you feel the need to fight over? And it's like, yeah, the sake of our country, sure, whatever. But you don't have to agree with everything that somebody is doing to support or not support them. Just grow up.
Right.
You don't need to tell me about everything this candidate did in the last 17 months before he was a presidential candidate. I don't care.
17 months? Try like 17 years.
But, I believe that people have the ability to change. So why is the last 17 years of their life are they being held accountable if clearly they're trying? And I'm not supporting one it's a general statement. I want to make that clear. Is that maybe this is their turnaround moment. Like, if you look at an addict per se who's like, oh, I'm gonna be clean this time, and that's the fourth time they're saying it, are you going to ignore it because you know it's not true, or are you still going to give them that fighting chance type of thing,
Right.
And a lot of adults don't see or think that way, and it's like, give them at some point, know your limits, your personal limits, but I don't think anybody should ever be given up on fully like that. Right. And it causes so much divide and so much fight and so much debacle, and it's like, just walk away.
Well, like, and that's the thing about change, though, is that nobody can make somebody else make that change. And there's a reason that there's 5 stages of change.
Yeah.
And that it's not a linear thing, so, like you're saying with people that are in active addiction, it's like there's this dissonance between, I want to be clean. I know I should be clean. I know I want to be clean. I want to stop using, but I can't because for whatever reason. and until they are ready to make a change is not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's with anything, any behavior, eating, drinking, whatever the behavior is, until that person has reached a point where they look at their life and go, this is not what I want for myself. That's the point that things are going to change. No amount of bashing, harassing, getting in their face, telling them this, that, whatever is going to make them make the change.
Well, it's like when I talk to somebody, it doesn't matter if it's, politics, religion, addiction. It's like I talk to them. I talk to them. I'm not here to tell you what to do. If you want to go out and use, leave me out of it. That's the only thing I ask. That is your life. But I'm going to be here. And if you need to call me when you're ready, you need a bed to sleep on, sure, I have a couch, you can stay, you're trying to get clean. Okay, well, what can I do? And I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not here to change your opinion or boss you around, but I am that type of person, thanks to my mom, who always has that hand extended, but I also have to learn when to give myself a break, because I will put myself through the ringer for the expense of other people, and that's not healthy either.
Right, because you run the risk of becoming an enabler as well.
Yeah, and it's like I will do everything in my power to help somebody, but I also know when to go, okay, I can't help you anymore. I've done what I can. But there's a good example there, because we kind of talked about it yesterday too, is the whole B situation. It's like, I've done what I can do, ball's in your court, and they chose to pop it. So
right. Well, and and like with Miss K, hopefully you can figure out who I'm talking about. In active use and on the run, has warrants out for arrest. And she's texting me, asking me if I can give her money, if I can let her sleep here, and I'm like, no. But if you come see me at work, I can get you into treatment.
Yeah.
But no, you're no. And when her and her boyfriend were sleeping in their car in the middle of winter, she's like, can we just come park our car out at your house? And I'm like, no, but do you have blankets? I'll bring you some blankets because I don't want you to freeze. But no, you can't park your car on my property.
Yeah.
Not while you're using. If you're ready to get clean, then yes, I can. Then I'll help you, but not while you're using. Yes, Anthony J as well. Yeah, Chantel, I'm with you. I tend to not talk about politics, especially since typically I'm in the minority in the group that I'm talking. Any group I seem to be talking with. And I don't mind having a debate with one or two people, but I don't want to have a debate and be the only one on my side when there's 15 other people on the other side.
The boundary comment from Sarah there, you can ask my mom. I am a terrible person at setting boundaries. And she was the first person I called. I had a falling out, we'll call it, with my best friend. And that's exactly what it was, is I had finally stepped up and I had set these boundaries, and it destroyed me. It really did. But I was telling my mom, I felt like I woke up one morning a completely different person. It was like 40 pounds lifted off my shoulders. All of a sudden I was free from prison that I'd been in for 16 years. And it's like, I should have been doing that a long time.
Well, this is what this feels like to not be a doormat.
It's like now that I have pushed that boundary in myself, I'm coming to terms with the fact that I did not push them with other people enough. And it's really helped a lot.
Well, yeah. And I was going to say, yes, you still have to learn how to set boundaries. Well, you know how to set boundaries. You're not so good at sticking to them.
I need to enforce boundaries, yes.
Yes, but you're getting better. And I definitely think that whole experience with B really kind of opened opened a door for you.
It was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Especially like as soon as you started putting down boundaries, the relationship fell apart because she was like, I don't like this. I don't like that you're telling me no and you're not bending over backwards for me.
And that's exactly what it was. Is she wanted to call me names and call me, a bitch and, oh, you're manipulative. And it's like, no, you're just mad because you can't manipulate me anymore.
Absolutely.
It's like all of a sudden I'm saying no and I'm saying that's not right. And you need somebody who's going to allow you to steamroll over them. And it's not me anymore. And I still absolutely, I love the memories that we made together. I still absolutely adore her kids. She just doesn't get to make more memories with me. I don't discredit anything in the past any more than I did before, but I just wish that I'd been a little more smart. But hindsight's 2020.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's not about intelligence.
Yeah. I wish I would have been more careful. We'll say it that way. But I don't have any. I'd have plenty of complaints, sure, about the situation, but like I said, we have a lot of good memories, and I'm not just gonna let go of those. They still very much exist in my mind. Like, I'm not gonna go through my Facebook and delete all the pictures. Those were still good times.
Right.
But she wanted to go through and block me and delete all the pictures, and fine, okay, if that's what you need to do, then do it. But I'm not gonna have a part in it.
All right, just remember that says more about her character than it does about yours.
Yep. And like I said yesterday, I think that's why I found it so easy to move forward, is because I know not just on how she reacted, but I know based on how I reacted that I was not in the wrong there. And I did nothing wrong. But it was easy to go, oh yeah, maybe I overstepped a boundary, or maybe I pushed too far or whatever, but I didn't. That was just her in my head talking.
Right. And all the past stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, like, no. Anthony, being cognizant, being aware, becoming self-aware. Of your situation, your environment, your feelings, just being aware.
Well, yeah. And I think that's what it really boiled down to, is I was so used to being backburnered all the time that my feelings were not an option until they absolutely boiled over. And yes, I know that's not healthy and I know that's not right, but I think that's what happened, is I was too focused on helping this person that I let myself drown to keep them above water.
Sorry.
Yep.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I don't remember which live it was that I was talking about that I think it was when I was with the herniated discs and stuff, was talking about, that I'm that way too. I mean, that's why I'm in as bad health as I am, because I kept ignoring myself for the sake of my clients. I can't take time off because, who's going to take care of my clients? And, I've developed this relationship with them, and now I'm going to abandon them for what? Why? What kind of a counselor am I if I abandon my clients? And at the end of the day, I ended up suffering as a result because I didn't put myself first. Yes, Anthony, our tempers do tend to be the boiling point.
But sure. I can't speak for Anthony, obviously. I'm not him. But for me, at least, the only reason that I have a boiling temper is because I shut my mouth for way too long. And it seems like it's over the top, because it is, in a way, because it's overlapping. It's pooled, and it keeps getting added and added and added until it's too much, instead of letting little pieces out here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me too. I tend to hold on to it, and then I explode.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh my goodness, you're crazy. And it's like, I'm not, though.
It's one of those do as I say, not as I do things. Because that again, doing therapy for people that are trying to stop using substances, that's one of the skills we have to try to teach them, is not to let things build up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually use a pressure canner as the analogy there. You know, you got the little what's it called?
The
Shuttlecock on the top that, you know, on the old school ones, it sits and rocks and lets steam out a little bit at a time as it's releasing pressure. You know, and it's slowly, if you release a little bit of air, a little bit of air, a little bit of air, it releases the pressure and you can take the lid off without it exploding. But if you try to take the lid off a pressure cooker that's been cooking at 12 psi for the last hour and you unscrew that thing, you're going to end up in the hospital. You're probably going to blow the windows out of your kitchen. You're going to destroy your cabinets. And, you know, it's like, so you have to let the things out a little bit at a time.
Yeah. Which is a struggle for us as a collective.
Well, what do you mean by lead slinging? I'm thinking shooting. But I could be wrong because I've never heard that term before.
Me and Anthony are going to have to get together sometime and compare pew-pews.
Pew-pew, pew-pew.
Pew-pew. Yep.
Yeah, see, I have to get in and learn all of YouTube's. I need to really look at their terms of service.
I don't know. I think I'm allowed to say it, but I'd rather not chance it and find out the hard way. But
exactly, you know that, and I think there's different rules if you're monetized versus when you're not, but I'm not super sure. And
yeah, I'm gonna text Anthony after the live because I need to know: are you computer gaming or are you console gaming? Because I'm in. YouTube is weird about. Yeah, they are.
They're weird about everything. Like what you can say and what you can't say. It's like, really? You're not allowed to use that word.
Yeah.
Of all things, you can't use that word.
Well, and it's like it's kind of a weird censorship too, because it's not going to stop people from talking about it. All they do is find different terms and then they ban those terms and then they ban the terms they make, and it's like we're not going to be allowed to speak if you keep censoring people the way that you are. They have to be able to talk about it somehow, because some of them are very important topics. Like, yeah, some things can be left off of YouTube, sure, but you know, sometimes that's really important to the person that's talking, and now they can't talk about it because they're in fear of getting their account shut down, and it's like, that's not fair.
Right. You know, and I see that a lot in the other chats. It's like, oh, S, and they're gonna K themselves, or M, or CP, and I'm like, SA, and I'm like, what the hell does all that mean?
The only reason I know what they mean is because of TikTok. But
well, and I know because I've been listening long enough that I've kind of figured it out. You know, figuring it out in the context of conversation, what it is. But it's like, these are normal words.
Well, see, and
you know, people have had their streams demonetized just for saying COVID. And I'm like, are you bloody serious?
It's a real world situation. You should be allowed to say it.
I know. I'm like, oh, let's talk about the C word. To me,
well, see, in trigger words,
the C word is see you next Tuesday, not COVID.
Trigger words is fine, but why demonetize and censor the entire video for a word? It could be as simple as, like, Mom has a disclaimer on her banner there, is you just pop a disclaimer and be like, hey, this is the topic for today. Most people put it in their title. Mm-hmm. It's not up to the person speaking to cater to the triggers of other people. If you see a title about my experiences with COVID and you're triggered with COVID, skip that one. Nobody's going to be offended.
It's not my responsibility to take care of your mental health.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm sorry. And exactly. And that's why I've tried to make a point of, you know, when I do the lives, I'm putting in there exactly what it is. So you make the adult decision whether you want to come and listen. And if it's something you don't think you can handle, don't pop in.
Or maybe you think you can handle it and you start watching it and you're like, oh, I'm not really comfortable. There's an X button on your computer. There's a pause button on the video. Like,
yeah, in fact, I was watching Sophie's live the other day on International Overdose Awareness Day, and I was actually had gone up on panel. That was the first time I'd gone on panel with anybody. It was weird, but I actually went up on panel with her that day, and right in the middle of it, after I had come down off a panel, Jen called, and so I muted my phone and I answered the call, and I'm like, "What's going on?" I go, "I'm surprised you're not in Sophie's," and she goes, "I can't." She goes, I can't do that topic. And I said, well, good for you for knowing that is out of your comfort zone.
See, everything is a trigger lately, which is why it seems ridiculous that creators and content providers have to cater to that kind of stuff. If you know you're triggered by something, don't watch it. Don't.
And unfortunately, though, that's not just YouTube. That's everywhere. Out in the real world, you're expected to walk on eggshells so that you don't offend somebody else.
I had somebody roll their eyes at me at Walmart a while ago because I wore a shirt with the sun and moon on it. It's like, there's not even anything offensive. And they're looking at me, and this lady's like rolling her eyes at me, and I'm like, I can't figure out what is offensive about my shirt, lady. Turn around. I'm not going to put my t-shirt inside out in the middle of Walmart to spare your feelings. Like, it's everything.
Hey, you can be like your mom and do a live stream and realize halfway through that your shirt's on the inside out. I totally did. I went to scratch and I'm like, pulled my shirt out. I'm like, oh, just realized my shirt was inside out. Okay. did the rest of the stream with my shirt inside out. And then
I'm currently still in my PJs, and I'm sure that offends somebody somewhere in the world.
Oh yeah, I'm still in my PJs. That's why I gotta be off at 3:30 because I gotta go in and hop in the shower so I can head to your dad's work.
And then you guys are coming here. I should probably get my kids dressed.
Get to see my girls. Did Dad talk to you about us taking them for the weekend?
No, he did not.
Maybe he was planning on. Yeah, I don't know. He just kind of briefly mentioned it when the tickets subject came up. He goes, well, it is a 3-day weekend, so maybe we can just bring the girls home with us. And I'm like, I don't know. Ask them, see if they have any plans.
Yeah, we can talk to y'all when you get here.
I don't know. Maybe he just didn't mention it since you guys had the barbecue planned for tomorrow.
No, not having the kids there is not going to hinder that.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds like more chicken for everybody else.
Especially if we end up bringing all three.
Yeah. And yeah, we can talk about that when you guys get here.
Because, if we start talking about it in front of Miss L, we're going to end up with all three.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, and it's seeming like I don't think Jay would have any objections because I think she needs that mama break. So
yeah, I would say it's been a while. She probably needs a mom break.
Yeah. And it's we'd have to talk because Emma goes back to her mom's house on Sunday because school starts next week. So
it started this week here.
Yeah, well, we can discuss it and see how they feel about it and all that fun stuff because it's not like we can't pick them up on Sunday anyway.
True. That's true. Well, Monday's a holiday.
But we can talk about it. I'll call you after the stream or whatever.
Yeah. Old
t-shirt with a hole in my shoulder, but it's mine says, "Is it Friday yet?" But it is Friday.
Oh, not a big. I'm like, it's not a big t-shirt. It's not a big hole. I'm like, what? Well, I've been using our fire pit to burn boxes and garbage and stuff. And I have managed to actually melt the mesh for our fire pit on the lid.
Jeez, what's in that cardboard?
I don't know. It's now got a big old hole right in the center under the handle. So we're going to have to, we're probably due for a new fire pit anyway. I think our bottom is pretty much about ready to fall out if it hasn't already.
Come take mine. David ended up getting a propane one.
Oh. Well, we're going to be there in a couple hours.
Yeah. He won't let me use
it. Chantel, my shirts kind of have always had a progression of what their purpose is. Like my new shirts are work shirts and outside shirts, and when they get stained or get holes in them, they become my pajama shirts. And then when they're starting to get worn out and thin, that's when they would usually end up either in my rabbit barn or as rags. But now it's just rags since I don't have the rabbits anymore. Toots, you don't use your fire pit? Not today, Satan.
Like Gray still plays, or just as a general? And I think Anthony might be the only one in the chat to get that.
Where your panda logo was, but then I remembered you were on your phone.
Yeah. It won't let me change it on my phone for some reason. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it because I'll probably end up leaving the chat on accident.
Well, no, you won't. As soon as I end broadcast, it'll disconnect you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think probably my favorite shirt that when I wear out, people go, I like that. I wore it to fair on Friday on auction day, and it says, "Don't follow in my footsteps. I run into walls."
Yep.
I figured wearing, my drunk one shirt, drunk number one, probably would not have been appropriate at fair. But yeah, Christina and I have got to figure out. I can have your kids. No. I'm an empty nester. I am an empty nester. It's a planned excursion when I'm taking on the kids, because if I get all three of them, it's a 7-year-old and 2 4-year-olds. And I'm exhausted by the time the weekend's over.
We're just helping you sleep. It's medicinal.
Help me sleep with the child that doesn't sleep.
You're tired by the time they leave, right?
Doesn't mean I sleep.
Fair.
I love my fire pit, but out where we're at, it's always what's the word I'm looking for? We hardly ever get to actually have a fire because it's the weather's rarely appropriate. It's either raining, or if it's not raining, it'll be really nice all day, and then when it's time to go out and light the fire, suddenly we have 60-mile-an-hour winds. And I'm like, well, so much for having a fire.
Well, you can always watch your neighbor. If their whole yard's on fire, you know it's not a good day.
That's true. Yeah, they light fires regardless. And they do fire department
they're not
calling.
Yeah, they're not lighting fires. They're burning the town down.
pretty much. Yeah, the 2 4-year-olds are, they're 3 months apart, 6 months apart, something like that.
They're almost, hold on, November, December, January, 4 months.
4 months.
One's October and one's February.
I was trying to do the math, but I couldn't entirely with confidence remember when Elle's birthday was.
Yeah, it's closer to 5 months because Elle is
her birthday's next month.
Yep, both of them, Elle and Emma. What was I saying? Oh, because Elle is the beginning of October and Mina's the end of February, so they're closer to 5 months.
Almost 5 months. So remind me to talk to Jay tonight about birthday presents.
Okie dokie. They're not going to be here, so she'll probably not rush you.
Oh, she's not coming with us?
Or no, tonight. Okay, yeah. Never mind. I thought you were talking about the birthday. She's going to be in, I think, California for a wedding for most of October.
No, to talk to her about what to get the girls for their birthday.
Gotcha. That makes more sense. Well, you know what to get Emma. Glitter and unicorns.
Or sloths. Oh. Unicorns and... Yeah. Well, and that was when I sent you that link for those warmies, I was thinking about Christmas.
Ooh. Can you get me one too?
Well, if I'm going to do that, then I might as well get one for Elle. Because then I can get 2 sets of the sloth huggies.
Oh.
And Minnie can have a set here and a set there. Because right now they got a deal going on it. You buy 2 and you get the Huggies for free.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Ugh, Christmas, agreed.
But
I'm not a Christmas person.
I was thinking with the girls, I know, Christmas, yeah. It was kind of nice when you guys all grew up and got the hell out of my house and I didn't have to think about Christmas anymore. And then all these grandchildren came along and I'm obligated again. I can't just give a 4-year-old a gift card.
Yeah, you can. Nobody's gonna complain. She bought her own, well, I don't know about the other one, but Minnie bought her own sloth, so you know she's good for it.
That's true. That's true. But, yeah. But I was thinking, because I know it might help Minnie sleep to have something warm. Because you stick the whole animal in the microwave.
Is it like an aromatherapy or is it just
it's got lavender in it.
Oh, I love those.
But yeah, you don't it's not like a pack that you warm up. It says you stick the whole animal in the microwave.
She'll pick out a sloth. What makes you think that?
They're supposed to stay warm it says in the ad that they stay warm for hours. But I thought if nothing else, it might help Minnie sleep, to have something warm to snuggle with. But it would be good for the girls, like if they get headaches or like I know that Emma sometimes gets, her neck gets sore or her back.
Yeah, because she sleeps like a damn pretzel.
I know, so she can heat up her critter and just use it as a heat pack and maybe loosen stuff up.
I shop for my animals more than I shop for my kids, and it bugs my husband.
And my cats. Cats and the dog.
Yeah. They're part of the family. They should get Christmas gifts.
So, should I get your dad a kitten for Christmas?
Yes. Christmas, get him one for Tuesday.
They're too young. They gotta grow up a little bit.
I didn't say this Tuesday. I just said a Tuesday. Is that like a... Oh.
Like one of a wormy penguin that you heat up in the microwave?
I was thinking about comfort blankets because I'm a blanket collector. I have more than I'll ever need ever in my life. I'm currently cuddled up in a blanket as we speak. Because my house.
And I'm sitting here with my fan on me.
My house feels like it's negative 16 degrees. It's 73, but it feels like 16.
I'm like sweating up a storm. So Anthony, was it the Warmies brand? Or was it a different company? Do you know? Or if you remember?
My blankets have officially outgrown my blanket closet.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I tried one of those weighted blankets, but I toss and turn way too much. They don't.
Yeah, it gives me claustrophobia. We have one
yeah. I have claustrophobia anyway.
Yeah.
But I found out during fair that, courtesy of, sharing a bed with Kay, that I twitch in my sleep.
Me too.
I didn't know that. And when I said something to your dad about it, he goes, yeah, I have to avoid your elbows all night. And I'm like, and you never said anything? Do you think maybe that's something your spouse should know, especially when she's reporting things back to her doctor?
Well, if you report it to your doctor, let me know what they say, because I twitch in my sleep too. And apparently Anthony too.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean,
it's the one thing about us that's normal.
Tom's niece was at the trailer with us, and I laid back on the bed to stretch my back out because we were just kind of back at the camper trying to cool off and stuff. And I laid back on the bed to stretch out and fell asleep. And when I woke up, the cousin was like, "Did you know that you twitch a lot?" And I'm like, "No." And Christina goes, Yeah, I do. Stop kicking me.
Look, I'm not doing it on purpose. I have
I'm like, I
accidentally.
didn't know. Sorry.
I say it with love, and I still feel bad, but I have accidentally nut tapped David a few times.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's why we sleep back to back now.
Apparently, I just elbowed your dad, but
Like I feel, he's like, you hit me. I didn't mean to. I can't be held accountable for what I do in my sleep. I'm sorry.
well,
It's
and
it's your
if it was
subconscious.
yeah, if it was just the legs, I would think restless leg syndrome, but I'm like my whole body jumps apparently, like
Yeah.
like when you're starting to fall asleep and you wake up and your whole body jumps.
Random thought or
But
random
I do
thought.
that while I'm sound asleep. My whole
Yeah.
body jerks.
I found out something about that sleepy jerk thing, and again, this is I've heard it, so don't quote me on it. But so when you fall asleep or you're starting to fall asleep, your body shuts down faster than at any point in your life. So when you jerk yourself awake like that, it's because your body's trying to make sure you're not dead.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like, holy hell, that's kind of neat. And maybe it's not true, but I'd like to believe it is. Because it's kind of fun to think about, but I'm pretty morbid.
Some research. But it makes sense because as you start to fall asleep, your heart rate drops,
Can't
your
relate.
respirations drop.
I was up at, I think 110 to 120 for a good. It like fluctuated, not consistently, for about 3 hours last night. I could not sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, it was annoying.
Do your ADHD checklist like I have mine. And start making those phone calls that you're supposed to be making.
Yeah. Well, and I've got multiple checklists that I need to make anyway. Sleep is the cousin of death. Yeah. They're like weird sisters. Brother and sister duo. Sleep and death.
Thank you for the link, Anthony. Sleep is the cousin of death, huh?
See, it's funny because he sent me the link too, and for some reason I thought it was in chat, so I was like, I'll get it later. I didn't realize he sent it personally. That's funny.
It's a link to the kind of wormies that he got for Lynn.
See, I've made something like that before. I don't know. I made that little rice whale back when Minnie was like 6 months old or whatever. I used to heat it up and put it on her back. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
But she rolls just about as much as I do, so it'd be interesting to see now if she's older, if it still helps.
Oh shit! I should have my phone plugged in since I'm going to be in the car for the next 2 hours, 3 hours.
How far did you get on your cross stitch?
I got a little bit done.
Keeping you entertained and distracted at the same time.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it's almost 3:30. I got to hop in the shower and get myself moving get ready to make my trip. I'll say get moving for the day. I've been moving since this morning. I'm just not ready for my day. It was nice having y'all in here to come in and shoot the shit with me. And huh?
Shooting the shit? That sounds messy.
It is messy. But since we have box seats for the rodeo tonight,
I'm so excited.
Try to do some recording and then I can upload it.
Jay's super excited too. She's like, I haven't been to a rodeo in years. She's like, I'm super excited now. Good.
Good. And the girls probably haven't, have they?
I don't think so. We didn't get to go last year, so I don't think either one of them have seen one.
And the last year that we had box seats, Minnie was too small.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chantel. I'll probably if we end up taking the girls, I may or may not bouncing into chats over the weekend, but we'll see.
I'm going to one up there, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Yeah.
Hope it's fantastic, and everybody in the chats get everything that they have wished for this week. That's what I want. Manifestation.
And if nothing, if I don't do anything else, I do need to get onto Canva and make myself an outro and do some moving some stuff around on my intro, because I noticed that with my banner running, you can't see my other thing on the bottom. So
there's another thing on the bottom?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was a banner.
I gotta move some stuff around, but all right, guys, you if I don't see you or talk to you before the weekend's over, you guys all have a great weekend. Find something fun to do, get some fresh air, try to avoid as much drama as possible, keep your mental health in check. And I'll talk to you guys all later. And Sis, I'll see you in a couple hours.
Yep, see you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.